Hey, here we go. Work on a project today. I'm going to call it Take Me Out to the Ball Game. And the thought, where it came, my thinking, where it came about, I got an intro like now I need to name this show. Now I see Bob Costas has got a sports program on now. He's got excellent guests and all, excellent program. I really like it, and he calls it Studio 42. Well, I had the thought, and I thought, where could I come up with a studio? I'd call it studio, but studio what? What I come up with, as far as sports, I thought about when I was a young guy. My God, it was in the 40s, or 42 to 45, something like that. 1945, and I was at Yankee Stadium, and I'm watching a game, and I was seated in left field, and it was the outfielder. They were playing the Washington Senators, and the outfielder there, the ball was hit to left field, and he never even moved, and the center fielder practically killed himself running to make the catch 6 feet from this left fielder, and he got there and he caught it. And I thought to myself, who the heck is this guy, the left fielder? It turned out to be a guy by the name of, for the Washington Senators, a guy by the name of George Bingo Binks. And I thought, geez, a big league ball player, and he didn't even run after the ball, So in this day and age, instead of, with Bob Costas, Studio 42, now I realize what he named it after. He named it after Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson wore number 42. So I thought, maybe I'd name mine after this George Bingo Binks. In today's day and age, you can go on to Google it, and if you went ahead and did this, you'd see what I come up with. And it started me thinking about baseball and all, America's favorite pastime. And it took me there, and I was wondering, what was Binks's number? That's the key, to get Binks's number, so I could call it whatever it was. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at. I'm going to Google things, and we're going to begin. Okay, guys, and we'll take it from there.
I'm not too much of a singer. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. We'll root for the home team. If they don't when it's a shame. 1, 2, 3 strikes you out at the old ball.
First clip is Harry Carey, the Cubs announcer. During the 7th inning stretch, he used to sing and get the whole crowd singing with him. And he's dead now. But it's the American pastime. The second clip, Buck O'Neill, a gentleman who never got to be a big league ball player, although he deserved to have been one. And I really liked his little version of it. But then the important thing, when I Googled George Bingo Binks, and what I come up with, this is completely unrehearsed. I'm going to put the clip in next. And I got emotional when I read it. George was an ordinary guy. The country had come through a depression and all. And I was born in 1932, so I remember my dad making $18 a week. And when I got to the end, the grandchildren, and just as I read it like that, I got emotional. So that clip's coming up next. George, for whatever reason, you didn't go after that ball that day. You must have had your reasons. Okay. Let's roll that next one. All right, I'm back. And I'm going to read it. Here's what I found on Google. George Bingo Binks played an entire career and prayers from a family that has grown and spread across the United States. George Bingo Binks, husband, father, grandfather, great-grandfather, professional baseball player, and master mechanic, passed from the earth on Saturday, November 13, 2010, at the age of 96. George was born in July 1914. His name was John Binkowski and Teresa Lewandowski, his wife. The fifth of 6 children, Chicago, Illinois. So George was Polish. To escape the shocking poverty of urban Chicago in the deep years of the Great Depression, George hopped a freight at night and was headed to the southwest. At dawn in Bloomington, Illinois, George saw several hundred kids on a baseball field trying out for a minor league team. At 30 miles per hour, George and a friend jumped from the train, blackened by exhaust soot, into the track side weeds. George was number 384 of the kids trying to make it. He slept in a dugout for 2 cold April nights in 1933, stuffing newspapers into his clothes for warmth. By the 3rd day, George made the final cut and was paid a few dollars. It was the first time in days they had enough money to eat. He changed his names to Binks and later was given the moniker Bingo for his ability to hit in the clutch. Thus began a baseball career in the minors that skittered around the country, and then it shows about 10 different teams. When the war broke out, Binks was classified 4F, not acceptable for military service, because he was deaf in one ear due to having mastoid trouble in his childhood. Instead of sitting out the war and continuing his career, he sacrificed baseball to work as a machinist in a Studebaker aviation factory in Chicago, Illinois, producing war materials for the war effort during 42 and 43. Late season 44, George Binks was swinging a bat for the Brewers, was averaging over 400, so the Washington Senators bought his contract, and for 45 he played first base and outfield. He batted, fielded left-handed, hit, and his hitting and everything, his stats weren't that good, but not bad. After his baseball career, George worked at General Motors Locomotives in Illinois, where over the course of 30 years he became a master mechanic. Management pleaded with him to stay 2 years past his retirement, and he did. From his days fixing the big machines at General Motors were as rich and savory as the stories about the Joe DiMaggio, Ted Williams, and Yogi Berra. George died on November the 13th, 2010. He's survived by his 4 children and several grandchildren. 10 grandchildren and 10 great-grandchildren. George was a kind, loving, quiet, humorous, gentle man who possessed a deep and abiding testimony about his life. He was the best grandpa a kid could have. Wow. They could say that about somebody. That's pretty one heck of a compliment. Okay. Okay, and I got in front of me from Google the stats that George played. It was with the Senators in 44, 45, and 46. 47 with the Athletics, 48 with the Athletics, and 1949 with the Browns. That's the year I graduated high school, 1949. And the numbers he wore in succession from 44 to 48, he wore 6, then he wore 7, 23, and in 47 he wore 11 and 40, then later 47. 48 he wore number 11, and 49 he wore 19. So it's clear to me, since Costa's got 42, it's number 47. And the way I started out with this thing, a couple other things about baseball. I'll tell you a couple quick stories. Babe Ruth. I was there the day that, just before Ruth died, they gave him a day, and he's there with that brown overcoat at home plate. I was there that day, and Yogi Berra hit a home run. We were seated down the right field line, and Berra hit a home run pretty close to us down the right field line. Of course, it went in the stands. We were more along the foul line. So that was Babe Ruth. In 1951, I come home. I was in the Navy then, and I went to the Polo Grounds. It must have been home on leave from after boot camp. And in the last of the 8th inning, this player come up, and he hit a home run to left field, and it landed on the roof of the Polo Grounds and bounced off. And I said, "Oh boy, who's that?" And you know who that guy was? Willie Mays. Willie Mays, 1951, his rookie year. The other one was Ted Williams. He was hurt. He wasn't playing. And he come up, I think, in a pinch hit in the top of the 9th or something. And he hit it in the upper deck in right field. I got one heck of a shot. He was some hitter, the splendid Splinter. That's my 3 baseball stories. And to finish up this with George Bingo Banks. He was a big leaguer. That was something to really be proud of. And he made it. And he was a good man. Okay, that's it. Signing off.